On today's episode of Home Media Minefield, I'm going to be looking at the 4K UHD edition of Goodfellas coming up. Hello, I'm Keith and welcome to Home Media Minefield, helping you with information to navigate the complexities of home cinema and home media entertainment. And as I said, in today's episode, I am going to be looking at Goodfellas, the 1990 Martin Scorsese film starring Robert De Niro, Ray Liotta and Joe Pesci. Now, first up with some release information. This film has indeed been released a number of times on home media, it being a classic in its own right. I remember it was one of the first DVDs that I ever got, which was actually the film on a flipper style disc in a Warner cardboard snapper style case. But we've moved on a long way since then. The film's been available on Blu-ray through several iterations, including its 20th anniversary, its 25th anniversary as a 2-disc edition, and now the new 30th anniversary that came out last year. Now, with regards to the 4K UHD release of this, the first, if you like, minor minefield that you need to decide is based on the release. I've previously done an unboxing of the Warner Brothers limited edition collector's set, which had the 4K UHD and Blu-ray of the film included in a package with some exclusive artwork, a 32-page collector's booklet, a mini poster and some art cards. But also last year, Titans of Cult released the 4K in a Steelbook edition that also came with an enamel pin badge and a recipe for Mama Scorsese's meatballs. Now, both of these editions were very nicely packaged and are both somewhat limited. They are still available, but they may cost a little more to get hold of. I will put links down below to both of these, but as far as in the package collectibles go, they both contain exclusive items. So there you go, bit of a minefield. But both packages are extremely well done. Now, with regards to the picture, this is an interesting one, as when the 25th anniversary 2-disc edition was released, the film had gone through a proper remastering for that. And the quality of that Blu-ray was actually extremely good and much better than the 20th anniversary release, which was the single disc version that I had previously. Now, this is obviously shot on film, so therefore even in high def you do notice some film grain on this, and even on the 4K they've specifically not done any digital noise reduction to the picture. So what that means is you are getting a natural grainy look picture to this film. Now, one could argue that they did such a good job with the Blu-ray remastering that the 4K doesn't actually look that much better. Yes, you can pick out a little bit more detail, and obviously high dynamic range helps with the contrast. However, they really haven't pushed this particularly and pushed the colour contrast on it. So watching them back to back, I have to say, in the case of this film compared to some others that I've reviewed, I found it a lot harder to notice the difference. Now, you do get that 2-disc Blu-ray also packaged with this 4K, so it's essentially a 3-disc edition. But if you're expecting a massive improvement with the 4K disc, you might be slightly disappointed here. As I said, it's not to say it's not good, it's extremely good transfer, but the Blu-ray was also very good. I hope that makes sense. Don't know what to tell you here. Now onto the audio. A similar thing, there hasn't been an upgrade in terms of Dolby Atmos or DTS-X. It has the original DTS 5.1 audio from the Blu-ray edition. But again, it's done to a very good quality. The audio on the dialogue is crisp and clear. You can hear everything that the characters are saying, and you have to remember that this is actually quite a dialogue heavy movie with portions of voiceover. So there's nothing massively dynamic with the soundtrack in any case. When the music plays, it does envelop you, and in the action scenes you do get some separation, but even with the audio here, this is not a massive upgrade over the previous 2-disc Blu-ray edition. Now onto the special features. With this version you get everything that was previously included on the 20th and the 25th anniversary editions included on this as well. However, there's nothing new here. That being said, between the various documentaries, commentaries, etc. on the various versions, I'm not sure that there's much more that could be said about this wonderful film. So first up, on the 4K disc itself, you get both of the audio commentaries. So the first commentary being the cast and crew commentary, which features most of the key players. Now again, this is one of those commentaries that is done as a series of clips from the various individuals put over portions of the film, rather than everybody sat round recording the commentary whilst watching the film at the same time. That being said, it's not an interesting commentary, particularly the parts where Martin Scorsese talks, and he's incredibly entertaining and draws you into what he's saying. The second commentary is what they call the cop and crook commentary, and this features the real life Henry Hill, which is who Ray Liotta plays in this film, and former FBI agent Ed McDonald, who originally put Hill in the witness protection program. Now, as you can imagine, having these two individuals sat down doing a commentary over this is very fascinating indeed, and well worth a listen. Now on to the plentiful other special features that even come on their own bonus Blu-ray disc, which essentially is the same disc that came with the 2-disc Blu-ray edition, which was released in 2015. You get a 30-minute featurette called Scorsese's Goodfellas, which was recorded in 2015 and features many of the cast and crew talking about the film in retrospect and the film's legacy. It does also feature frequent Scorsese collaborator Leonardo DiCaprio with his thoughts on the film and the film's legacy. Next up, you get another 30-minute featurette called Getting Made, which essentially is a similar thing that was just made in 2004 and features cast and crew both then and back on the actual production having interviews. The great thing about this one is it does actually include quite a lot of behind the scenes footage, so you get to see Martin Scorsese in action on set directing De Niro, Ray Liotta, etc. And this is interspersed with interviews both from 1990 when they were filming and 2004 when this particular featurette was being produced. You then get a 15-minute featurette again from 2004 called Made Men, The Legacy of Goodfellas. And this is where filmmakers the likes of Jon Favreau, Joe Carnahan, the Hughes brothers, Anton Fuqua, Richard Linklater and Frank Darabont talk about the legacy of Goodfellas as a movie and how it has inspired them as filmmakers. I always enjoy these type of featurettes where you get to hear respected filmmakers enthuse about a film that they love. And let's face it, we all love Goodfellas. You then get an 8-minute featurette again from the 2004 release called The Workaday Gangster. Now this looks into the gangster lifestyle and how it looks great on screen, but you wouldn't want to be a wise guy in real life. And it features an interview with Henry Hill about this very subject, as well as Martin Scorsese, Nicholas Pileggi, who wrote the book on which this film was based. And it talks about the clothes, the money, the lifestyle, the going to the Copacabana nightclub, etc. and how that may indeed seem glamorous, but it is actually quite a tragic lifestyle, as you usually end up either in jail or dead. I kind of like the bluntness of this little featurette. You then get a 5-minute piece called Paper is Cheaper Than Film, and this is quite good because it shows Martin Scorsese's scribbled notes that he put on the actual script page, and it shows some of the scribbles and little diagrams he's done played over points of the film which relate to that script and to the sketches that he put. So that's quite a fun and fascinating watch. Then you get a 2-hour documentary called Public Enemies, which is the history of the gangster film. Now this actually did come with the 2-disc 25th anniversary Blu-ray as well, and is a really in-depth documentary that goes all the way from the silent era of films right the way through to contemporary. In film, historians, scholars and journalists discuss this genre and the history it's had and the influence that it had on films such as Goodfellas. It's really great when these feature-length documentaries get included as part of a home media release. Then you get a set of 3 Looney Tunes cartoons that all have a humorous take on gangster-related topics, and the theatrical trailer to round the package off. So there you go, Goodfellas finally on 4K UHD. Tricky with the buying options on which collector's editions that you go for, but in terms of the discs themselves, for the picture I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. They've not done a lot here with the high dynamic range, and it isn't a noticeably massive upgrade on the Blu-ray, but that's simply because the Blu-ray they had done such a good job of in the first place. If you want the best and you don't mind the film grain, then this is definitely a worthy upgrade. However, if you've got the 2-disc Blu-ray 25th anniversary version, you might want to think about that. But if you're a collector, certainly the collector's set or the Titans of Cult versions are nice to have in your collection. For the sound, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5, simply because they haven't really done a major update to the sound here, but it is clear and decent and works just fine for this sort of film. I'd have given it a higher score if they'd done a Dolby Atmos mix or something for it, but as I said, they didn't, so 3 out of 5 for the sound. And then for the extras, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. The extras on this are absolutely plentiful. Loads of bonus, a whole bonus disc of extras, not to mention 2 commentary tracks. Really good, although nothing new since the 25th anniversary release. So that gives us a total score of 11 out of a possible 15 for this. I think it's an excellent addition, but then I didn't have the 2-disc version prior. I only had the single disc Blu-ray, which came out some time ago. So for me, it was definitely worth the upgrade. And that brings me to the end of another home media minefield. If you enjoyed this, then please do like the video, consider subscribing to the channel and hit that bell icon so that you don't miss anything moving forward. I publish 4K Blu-ray and DVD reviews weekly, along with product unboxings, live streams, podcasts, etc. If there's anything in particular that you'd like me to review, or you've got any questions about this, then please do put that down in the comments below and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. But in the meantime, thank you for your time today, and I will speak to you at the next Home Media Minefield. Bye for now.